It's been a little bit since I've searched a couple of thousand $1 bills in hopes of finding bills worth more than face value. So, without further ado, let's search these bills and see what we can find. Hey everyone, it's Rob with RobFindsTreasure, and welcome back to the channel. I know many of you have been asking for me to do another bill search. We're going to do one today. I've got 2,000 $1 bills straight from my lucky bill bank, the bank that gets a lot of deposits from both laundromats and car washes. So hopefully we got some goodies in here. Now, if you're new to bill searching or bill collecting, I have a ton of useful resources listed down below in the video description. Feel free to check those out so you know what to look for. If you want a quick resource, I have my collectibles US paper notes mat. You can find that also down below, or a quick link to it right there. Without any more talk, let's get right after it. I'll be looking through the straps of 100 bills one at a time, and at the end of each strap, I'll bring you guys back in for a strap recap of what I found, unless I found something awesome in the middle of the strap. Let me get this hunt started. I'll be back at the end of strap 1 with that strap recap. Well, unfortunately, the first strap was a bust. No star notes, no fancy serial numbers, no old bills, nothing worth talking about, not even close calls. Hopefully, strap number 2 treats us a little bit better. Well, strap 2 was slightly better. We did get our first star note, and as a quick reminder, I'll be plugging all the star notes at the end of the hunt in the star note lookup site that I also have listed down below to see if we have any rare ones. Now, that's our first through 2 straps. We're hoping to get to 20, 1 per strap average, but star notes are getting tougher to find in circulation. Either way, we've got our first find. Let's move on to strap number 3 and see if we can get another find. Strap number 3 did not have any star notes or fancy serial numbers, but it did give us an older bill, a series 1995. And as a quick reminder, you want to check all of your 88As, 93s, or 95s for what's known as a web note. It was an experimental way they did printing plates and printed the notes, I should say. And you're looking for that printing plate number to be above 1 next to In God We Trust, not below. That means it's common. I already flipped it around. My printing plate number is right down there. It is definitely a common note, but I keep all of my 95 and earlier ones, and I get asked why I keep them. It's because certain ones of them are harder to collect for those putting together currency sets, and that's why I hold on to them. 3 straps down, not a lot found. Hopefully strap number 4 gets us back on the finds. Strap number 4 did not have any good finds as well. Off to a tough start, but I had a couple of bills I wanted to bring up to you guys. I get asked all the time about trinary bills. Trinary bills are when the serial number is made up of only 3 numbers. We've got a couple here. This one's got 5 6s and 0s, and this one has 6 7s and 0s, or 1 7. And typically, trinary bills can sell for a few bucks, $4 to $5 each if they're in crisp, uncirculated condition. This one's close. Might be able to squeeze a few bucks out of that one. This one, pretty circulated. That being said, I don't sell a lot of bills, and I don't keep trinary bills to make a buck or 2 on each. So I just put them back into circulation unless the bill is fancy with 0s, 1s, and 2s as the 3 numbers. So wanted to take a second to talk about that since the finds are few and far between. Hopefully strap number 5, though, yields something for me to show. Well, strap number 5 was another bust strap. The best notes on top, another trinary, but like I've said before, I'm not keeping it. So, tough first set of 5 straps. Let's see what the next set holds for us, and hopefully strap 6 holds something now. Strap number 6 was just what the doctor ordered. We got 3 star notes in that strap. That's going to bring our total now to 4 star notes through 6 straps, getting back on pace. Nothing fancy as far as serial numbers on these, but like I said, they're star notes. Let's see if strap number 7 can give us a few more. Strap number 7, no good goodies. Let's move on to strap number 8. Strap number 8 gave us our 5th star note right here, not in the best shape, and it also gave us an over-inked digit error. You can see that 6 has been over-inked. Over-inking errors don't fetch a lot of value on digits. They do fetch a few bucks. What you're really looking for is an over-inking error where you have a filled star. So if you ever have a filled star when you're looking at star notes, that over-inking error is worth about 30 bucks. They sell routinely for $30, and it looks like this right there. You can see this one had 12 bids for $29. You're looking for the star to be filled in. I have not found a filled in star, but they're out there, so keep your eyes peeled for them. Figured since I had an over ink digit, I'd bring that up. Let's move on to strap number 9 now. Strap number 9 gave us our 6th star note. It is a B series, not the 2013 though, but I'll take it. So 6 star notes now through 9 straps. We also had a 6 of a kind, and even though it's not in a row, it is 6 sixes on the bill, and typically 6 of a kind on a bill, out of the 8 of course, sells for about $5 to $12 depending on the condition of the bill. This one's closer to the $5 range. I think I'm going to keep it because we're struggling for fancy serial numbers, and it is 6 sixes. So we'll hold on to it for now. Like I said, we got star note number 6. Last strap before the mid-hunt recap. See if we can add to our totals, which are okay, but we'd like to see a few more finds before the midpoint. Let's see if we do. Unfortunately, strap number 10 did not give us any more finds except for one kind of cool over-inking bill. Looks like there's something squiggly going on inside the 6. Still not going to keep it despite it being in pretty good shape. Either way, that's the midpoint of the hunt. We have 6 star notes, one kind of cool serial number, and one older bill. Pretty tough overall, but we still have 10 more straps, and you never know what's in them until you open them. Let's get inside and see what we see. We'll get back to the hunt in just a moment, but first, a quick word from today's video sponsor. Major global banks have recently published bullish outlooks for gold prices over the next several years. HSBC has outlined scenarios where gold could reach $5,000 per ounce as early as the first half of 2026. JP Morgan projects average gold prices around $5,055 per ounce by quarter 4 of 26, with potential paths above $5,400 in 2027. Goldman Sachs has upgraded its forecast to approximately $4,900 per ounce by the end of 2026, and Bank of America has also identified a potential move towards $5,000 gold in 2026. At the same time, S&P Global Intelligence has published research highlighting the risk of future copper supply shortages, underscoring the importance of new domestic copper projects. With that backdrop, today's video sponsor is US Gold Mining Inc., which trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker USGO. The company is focused on the Whistler Gold Copper Project located in South Central Alaska, making it one of the closest large undeveloped gold copper projects to the Anchorage Population Center. Policy conditions in the U.S. have also shifted in recent years. The current administration has issued executive orders aimed at increasing domestic mineral production, including gold and copper. While not project specific, these actions have been viewed as broader signals supporting U.S.-based resource development. At the state level, Alaska has also expressed support for responsible mining development, and members of both state and federal leadership have visited the Whistler project. According to the company's published mineral resource estimate, the Whistler project contains indicated resources of approximately 294 million tons at 0.68 grams per ton gold equivalent, totaling 6.48 million ounces gold equivalent, and inferred resources of approximately 198 million tons at 0.65 grams per ton gold equivalent, totaling 4.16 million ounces gold equivalent. In addition to gold, the deposit also includes copper and silver, both of which are now classified as critical minerals under U.S. government frameworks. Another distinguishing feature of U.S. Gold Mining Inc. is its ownership structure. Approximately 78% of the outstanding shares are held by the company's parent, with an additional 4.5% held by management and insiders. Currently, the company is advancing a preliminary economic assessment, or PEA, which is an initial study evaluating potential economic parameters of the Whistler project. This work is being conducted during a period when gold and copper prices are near record levels. Now, of course, do your own due diligence, but I encourage you to take a serious look at U.S. Gold Mining Inc., again, on the NASDAQ, USGO, a tightly held U.S. gold and copper opportunity with scale, timing, and support behind it. Before we get back to the hunt, I want to remind everyone that I am not a financial advisor and that this is not financial advice. Always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Also keep in mind that unlike physical metals such as gold and silver, mining stocks can be highly volatile and you can potentially lose your entire investment. There is a disclaimer link down below in the video description along with more information about US Gold Mining Inc., who was today's video sponsor. And finally, please make sure you review US Gold Mining Inc.'s annual report and other filings with the SEC when you research this opportunity. Now, let's get back to the bill hunt. Strap number 11 did give us a find, gave us a star note. It also gave us another trinary bill with ones, threes, and zeros, just pointing it out. And it did give us almost a super repeater. A super repeater is when two numbers repeat 4 times. In this case, 38 4 times. We had it 3 times, 35, 35, 16, 35. Just wanted to point it out since I hadn't pointed out super repeaters yet in this bill hunt. But like I said, we got the star note, number 7. Let's move on to strap number 12 now and see if we can find some more finds. Strap number 12, a bust. Lucky number 13, let's see. Unfortunately, it wasn't lucky strap number 13. It gave us a trinary that you see on top that I put on top. And then almost our first repeater note. Repeater means the first 4 numbers repeat. 4012, 4018. So close, yet so far. Moving right along with strap 14. Need some more finds. Strap number 14 got us back on the star notes. We got 2 in that strap. They were right next to each other and they're sequential. 12, 17, 6409 and 12, 17, 6410. They're in decent condition as well, but in order to fetch more money for sequential star notes, you want at least 10 in a row, and preferably collectors like a full strap. Either way, I will take them because that gets us now to, I believe, 9 star notes through the first 14 straps with 6 straps left. Let's move on to strap number 15 and see if we can get some more finds. Strap number 15. We have made it to 10 star notes finally. I'll take it. We also got another close call, almost another repeater note, 4288, 6288. Man, always a bridesmaid. All right, 5 straps left. Come on, strap 16. Strap number 16, no bueno. Hopefully bueno. And strap 17. Strap number 17 was another tough strap. Man, second half's not been that good. We have 3 straps left. We need some help, strap 18. Strap number 18 got us a star note, number 11. I'll take it. We also got a couple of other notes. We got our first birthday note, November 7th, 1933. Now, I've said before on the channel, I don't keep birthday notes prior to 1940, but I've got a couple of emails lately asking me to keep some of the earlier ones just in case it's a parent's birth date or a grandparent's birth date. So, I'll keep this one for now. Again, it's older than I'd like, but then again, it could be for somebody. We also had another trinary, kind of a cool number, 0404 0240. Close to being a radar binary, but it's just a trinary. Not a keeper for me, although it looks kind of cool and probably has some value to somebody. Again, 11 star note and an old birthday note. 2 straps left. Can we get, if I can hold it, can we get some more finds? Strap number 19, just a star note. That gives us 12. We'd like to see a handful more finds in the last strap, but losing a little hope with only 1 strap left and not a ton of finds. Let's see if we get lucky. We have finished the 20th and final strap of the hunt. We did not add any more star notes, but we will have what's called a tombstone note, 1942, 2005. It's unfortunate to find these kinds of notes, but maybe someone had a loved one who passed in 2005 that was born in 1942, and they'd like the bill for a keepsake. I do hold on to tombstone notes, so we'll hold on to this one. It does classify as a cool serial number, just not an extremely fancy one. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the 20 strap hunt. We got 12 star notes, which means we got 6 in the first 10 straps and another 6 in the last 10 straps. And I made mention it's getting tougher to find them. We only got 12 this time, and I used to get at least 1 per strap average. But I'm not mad. We got to plug them into the star note lookup site to see if we have any rare ones. And if my memory serves me correctly, Notes with the I from Minnesota typically are rare. We'll have to see if that one's a rare one. Outside of that, we got the 3 fancies that you saw. We've got the 6 of a kind. We got a birthday note and a tombstone note. And then we also got the 1 older bill. Nothing older than 1995 and only 1 bill prior to 2000 other than one 1999 note that I sent back because I don't keep those. Let me do this. Let me plug these in. I'll be back with my findings on the star notes and some final thoughts on this 20 strap or 2000 $1 bill hunt. All right, we have finished plugging all of the star notes into the star note lookup site. Out of the 12 that we found today, these 10 are common. Common star notes like this sell for about $1.50, maybe $3 at the most, depending on the buyer. We did have 2 rare ones. Both of them have only 500,000 on their print run size. Unfortunately, this 2017A had 10.99 million total printed for the series. So it's somewhat rare on the run size, but not rare at all on the total printed. Still fetches more than a few bucks. The best note is this note, and I called it. Anytime I see an I star note, which is from Minnesota, I know the run size and the print run is probably going to be small, and this one is just like that. 500,000 on the run size and 1.75 million on the total printed. I'll put it up on the screen right here so you guys can see it. So 500,000 right here on the run size, somewhat rare, but on the total printed, a little more rare. Not that it's an extremely rare note, but it's definitely a good note. It's in decent enough condition as well. Might fetch about $5 or $10 for it. So a couple of good notes, couple of good finds, a few side finds, but really overall, other than the saving grace being this one, would have been a pretty tough hunt. At the end of the day, you got to go through tough hunts to have the good ones. Either way, hopefully you guys had fun watching me go through these notes, and hopefully you're checking yours. If you enjoyed the video, I certainly would appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching.